The wait is finally over. I don't think I've ever prepped for a video so fast. The new Berserk chapter is out. After many long months of waiting, the new Berserk chapter is out. Chapter 376, and I thought it was a pretty good one, so let's talk about it. The chapter starts off with Guts in this kind of like astral plane sort of thing. He is surrounded by white energy and it's kind of stripping away at him. He talks about being swept away, and to me this whole scene kind of feels like a metaphor for the way that his emotional state is dragging him down into the abyss. And through this, he sees Shirke. She comes forward to him, she reaches out to him, and she takes hold of his finger and goes to pull him out of the depths where he's ended up. Now, this could be a metaphor, but at the same time, as we know, Shirke is often used to delving into the astral realm in order to pull Guts out when he's overcome by the armor. So it could be just as much the case that that's what she's doing. And later in the chapter, we see Shirke in bed. She hasn't awoken, and Ivalira says that she's gone too deep this time. So it could be a metaphor. It could also be kind of exactly what's happening. But before we get that Shirke scene, we see that Guts is being held prisoner. He doesn't have the armor, he doesn't have his sword, he is just a man in a prison cell, and he's a little bit confused, but he has woken up out of his depressive stupor, and that is super important because we need Guts back. Now, before I go on any further, I need to compliment this chapter's absolutely fantastic artwork, because in the last couple of chapters, Studio Gaga have kind of shown that they can almost do Berserk. They can almost get that feel of Miura's artwork, but this chapter really felt like Miura's artwork. It felt like what we are used to with Berserk. It was very detailed, all of the faces looked right, and yeah, I have to compliment this chapter because by far the best thing they've done here is improve. They've improved the artwork. They were also doing more dialogue, more exposition, more explanation of what's going on. It seems like Studio Gaga and Mori have finally got into the groove of Berserk. Let's go. So we see that there's been somewhat of a time skip. The group in the last chapter were on a boat that was overtaken by the Kushan, and all of that was happening. Guts was taken prisoner. Now it looks like they are in the middle of the Kushan Empire. They are with Silet, I think his name is, and Daar, and all of the Kushan army that surrounds them. Silet has put Guts in prison because he thinks that Guts is not only a danger to them, but also a danger to himself. And assumedly, in the position he was in the mental state he was in, perhaps they were all worried that he was getting to a point of potentially taking his own life. So they've imprisoned him, taken everything off of him, but he's only there for his own safety. As I said before, we see that Shirke is stuck in a trance-like state where she's gone to save Guts. She's managed to pull Guts out, but it looks like she might have gotten herself stuck. She went too deep, she went too far, which is a testament to how bad Guts' position really was. And for kind of the rest of the chapter, we just get explanations of what everyone's up to, what the plan is going forward, and gives us a little bit of a hint of what we're about to see. Because as I have predicted in a video that's coming out next month, the Kushan are deciding to go to war against Griffith and Falconia, and they've captured our main characters, and as their punishment / their rules for capturing them, the main characters are now going to have to serve in the army, and this gives us an exact journey, an exact destination for our group of characters to go to Falconia. And obviously that's where Casca is, that's where the final fight is going to end up, and we have just secured the journey there. We now know how they're going to do that. If you're watching this channel, you probably like reading. And if you like reading, then you probably need things to read. Well, I've got just the site for you, Sci-Fire. Sci-Fire is an absolutely wonderful bookstore that specializes in sci-fi, fantasy, comic books, and of course, manga. I've been using them for absolutely ages, because they not only have great pricing but also fantastic customer service and top-notch packaging. Like, look at this. If you want to use sci-fi yourself, you can head down to the link in the description and use the code NerdLounge for 5% off every order. So get yourself some books, get yourself a discount, and support the channel at the same time. Back to the video. Daar seeing the abilities of the group they're with. Obviously they're with Shirkei, but there's also a load of witches there from the island alongside the blacksmith, the original creator of the Berserker armor. That's obviously going to play into something. With this whole group together, Daar kind of says that he wants to take them under his wing. He sees the power here. He sees the potential, and he probably understands that under the right kind of guidance, these people could be very instrumental in the war against Falconia. They're not necessarily warriors, but they present something that the Kushan forces don't. They all have magic. Also, I've completely forgotten, Rika is obviously here. He was kind of in the last chapter, but he's very, very present here. He's the kind of driving force of this chapter. He's the person that gains the exposition and questions the exposition. He is going to be such an important role going forward. I can see it. There's no reason to bring him back into the story if he isn't, and he just seems like the person that's going to bridge the gap between the Kushan and Guts and his group. Towards the end of the chapter, we see an interaction between Puck and Rika, but Puck doesn't really remember who Rika is, which is bizarre to me. I don't know if this is a gag or something's wrong with Puck, or this is just his personality, but I would think that he would have remembered Rika. He's seen him multiple times. He was in the elf cave when they were with Godo. It just doesn't make sense for him to forget who he is, but he has in this, and Isidro kind of explains like, oh, this just is how he is, and Ricket's a bit like, okay. So that's also all we really see of Isidro this chapter as well. It's a bit of a weird interaction, and I'm not sure what's going on there. Ricket obviously questions where Casca is, because as far as he knows, they should all be together, and he comes to the realization, without having to get the answer, that Griffith is somehow involved. Once again, we're seeing Ricket really draw away from Griffith, away from the hero that he once saw. This is a moment where he realizes that Griffith has taken Casca, and that this is where the group is going to be heading towards, because they need to save her. And then in the final 3 chapters, we get the announcement that Sylat and the Kushan are going to wage war against Falconia and the Falcon of Light. They understand that Griffith's target was all of the ethereal beings, and that's why the Elf Island was destroyed. And now they see that the next thing on the list is the Kushan Empire. The Band of the Falcon have been noticed alongside the Kushan's borders, so they're ready to fight. They know the fight is coming, and they want to take it to Griffith first. And that is where the chapter ends. So, what are my thoughts? Very quickly, like I said, artwork and kind of the dialogue in this chapter have been such an improvement. I'm so happy to see it. It really seems like Berserk is coming back into form. It just took a little bit of time for the new team to balance out and to really get their foot in with where they're heading. Secondly, the pacing. I'm so glad that we skipped forward to this point. I theorized that this point was coming, that the way that Guts' team would get to Falconia would be with the Kushan, because the Kushan are waging war on it. And you'll know that from a video that I've already made that's uploading next month that goes over kind of my ending theory, my ending hypothesis for Berserk. I knew that was coming, and I'm so glad we just skipped straight to it. I'm hoping for the next couple of chapters we get some quick fire traveling. I don't want to spend too long on another boat arc, so let's get some exposition, some explanation, some big changes, and then let's go to Falconia and begin the final war against Griffith. I thought the character interactions in this were good. I can't wait for Guts and Ricket to be reunited. I think that is going to be such an important chapter, and I really want to see interactions between the group. Our current crux, our current question is what's happening with Shirkei. So hopefully Guts can kind of bring her out of that. And also, what's happening with Guts? Is he going to sit in this cell, or is he going to try and escape? Because we know the strength of him. He's currently attached with one chain to a wall. I can't see him not escaping. We kind of just need to see where Guts is at, where his mental state is at, because he's woken up, but we don't get any discussion from him. We don't get any really dialogue from him, so we don't know exactly where he is right now. And I think the main point of this chapter is it really feels like we're going somewhere. It's felt like for a while that Berserk has been kind of frozen in time. We haven't really moved forward too much, and this really feels like a step towards the next arc. It seems like an escalation of the series, and I'm so excited to see that. I really hope we get semi-regular releases for this now, because the wait between chapters is so painful. I just love this series so much, and I can't wait to see it continue towards its end, because it's gonna be so good. And that's my thoughts and feelings and a quick recap of the new chapter of Berserk. In the comments down below, let me know what you thought of the chapter. Did you think it was as good as I did? Because I would definitely rate this one of the best chapters of the new stuff, definitely. While you're down there leaving that comment, please be sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell to be alerted every single time that I upload. And if you want to get some manga or books for yourself, there's a link down below to Sci-Fi where you can do that and support the channel at the same time. Next month is Berserk month, so we've got 3, maybe 4 videos coming out, all Berserk related. It's going to be a wonderful time, and I'm really hoping to see all of you guys there. Again, make sure you hit that notification bell to be alerted when those videos come out. And if you want to check out another video of mine, there'll be one on the left or right of me. But if you're sick of hearing me talk and looking at this face, then I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.